What's going on, Make Movers? Hope you're doing well. Today, I want to talk about something I think is very, very important, especially for those who are in leadership positions, whether that be at your church, in your workplace, in the community, wherever it may be. You are deemed to be a leader and you are entrusted with leading people from one place to another. Have you realized as a leader that it can be lonely at times? Because everybody does not see it the way you see it. They do not approach it the way you approach it. They don't care like you care. You are a leader who has a heart for the people that you lead. And so you are concerned about their everyday well being. And kudos to you. I commend you for having a heart for the people and not just being more in love with the title, but actually with the task and the trust. But there's something I want to caution you in and caution you about. There's something I want to give to you that I think is so very important. Are you ready for it? Good. This is what I want to give to you. Remember, loose lips sink ships. Exactly. Loose lips sink ships. Now let's break this down. As a leader, oftentimes you are trusted with some very confidential information. You are placed in a position where people come to you with their deepest, their darkest matters. They feel comfortable with entrusting this information to you. They feel comfortable with talking to you about what's major and heavy upon their hearts. Something about you gives them the peace to just sit with you and divulge deep, dark things they've never divulged anybody else before. As a leader, there are times you feel comfortable with sharing your deep, dark with other people. You feel like you can confide in people because something about them gives you that peace of mind. But loose lips sink ships. What that means is divulging information to the wrong person, or if it's you divulging what somebody told you in confidence to somebody else, can sink a ship. You have to be careful about who you tell your information to. You have to be careful to make sure you protect what's been brought to you by someone else. When people meet with me, I approach every conversation with this person as if it's confidential. They don't have to tell me it's confidential. I approach it in that manner. Therefore, I govern myself accordingly, meaning I am not going to tell anyone else what this person shared with me, whether they told me it was confidential or not. What I like to tell people is, listen, it's not my news, but it's your news to share. Now, I love to celebrate people when they get promotions. And at times, people have told me in advance of it being public, they were getting a promotion, they were getting an advancement, they were doing something that was going to be so awesome when everybody else knew about it. And I would say to them, I'm so happy for you. I would celebrate them. And then I would say to them, listen, it's your news to tell. I won't be saying anything at all. Why am I giving this to you? This is not my ego stroke. It is the understanding that you play a pivotal role in the lives of the people that are around you. People trust you. And when they trust you, they expect you to adhere to some unwritten rules. One unwritten rule is the conversations that we have are all confidential, whether I tell you or not. So please don't tell someone else what I told you. That's very important to adhere to. Another unwritten rule, I think that is so very, very important, is just because you're excited for me doesn't mean everybody else will. So help me by keeping the news to yourself. Now, why is that latter one important? Because sometimes we're so excited for a person that we go run and tell everybody, and we miss out that their reactions to somebody else's news is not celebratory as you were for them, but it's more anger and animosity and jealousy. Loose lips sink ships. There are some people who just can't hold information. They have to go run and tell someone. I'll give it to you this way. My grandmother would say this to us when we were coming up. If your friend is running to you with somebody else's information, you can comfortably believe they're running to somebody else with your information. They could care less about who they hurt. They are known as the news bearers. They like to be able to tell people's information. They don't care about hurting people's feelings. But when you think about it from a leadership perspective, that means that people deem you their leader. They trust you as their mentor. They confide in you as their supervisor, as their manager, as their entrusted person. And the first time you divulge or the first time you break confidentiality, you have literally created a rift between you and that person that's very hard to restore, very hard to repair. It is hard at times to have to hold tight to information, but it's necessary. It's necessary because if you tell their news too soon, you can actually bring destruction to something that's not ready to be birthed yet. Yeah, there are some people who will tell you things prematurely out of their excitement, but it's not ready for manifestation. I've been blessed and fortunate to plant a church. 11 years ago this year, we planted a church. But for 3 years, I carried the vision of that church close to my heart, that only one person knew about it of anybody else that I was around. For 3 years, I labored and toiled over that vision I believe God had given me. Was it easy? It was not. But because I was struggling with it, I wasn't ready to bring anybody else into that conversation. And I'm grateful looking back on those years that I did not easily divulge to other people because they would have killed what I felt God was trying to birth. And I'm saying that to you as a leader, be it business, be it in the church, be it in your community. You have to hold fast to that information because the loose lips sink ships. I have seen partnerships be destroyed. I have seen business ventures not get off the ground. I have seen companies fall under. I have seen companies separate. Now you have them competing against each other, all because somebody within the equation did not have respect for everybody else. And guess what they did? They went around telling everybody the news and the business because they wanted to get attention on them as if they were a mover and a shaker, as if they had intel, but the intel they had was actually not supposed to be shared with anybody else. Somebody confided in you. Hold that close. But if you don't, your tongue could be the vice that's used to destroy something that could have been a blessing to so many people. I'm challenging you today as you go forth to make moves, to be careful about who you talk to, but also be careful about what you share when you have those conversations. Treat every conversation in the cone of confidentiality, unless the person who came to you tells you otherwise. And if you have suspicion that they can't be trusted, then please do not tell them anything. You don't want to be the guinea pig that is used to learn that this person is not trustworthy. If you see it, if you feel uncomfortable, there's probably some truth to it. When we making moves and not making announcements, we have to be careful because if you're not announcing it, don't give anybody else the power to do it for you. Be careful, be wise, but also be quiet. It'll take you a long way. I hope you all are doing well. Again, I encourage you, if you are listening to us on YouTube, our YouTube channel, please subscribe, be a part of what we're doing here, trying to give you business, leadership, wisdom, strategic planning nuggets to help you advance in that regard. Also, I want to encourage you to visit our website at www.strategicinflectionpoint.com. There you learn more about the company, more about the administrative services that are available to be of assistance to you. I'd love to help to come alongside you and uphold you and advance you into what you're trying to do next. You know anything about me, you know our conversations are always confidential. It's your news to tell, not mine. Till we meet again, remember this: make moves, not announcements.